Hello, everyone. Again, another episode today with amazing guest, Brittany Hansen. Hello, Brittany. Thanks for taking the time joining us today. How are you today?
I'm doing so well, and I'm incredibly excited to be here today and have the opportunity to talk to you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for being here. So, for general public that don't know you that well, how would you characterize who's Brittany Hansen?
Such an interesting question and always under construction, and big changes for me. But I would say, um, I'm a collector. I like to collect different kinds of skills and different kinds of talents, and I'm always looking for a new challenge, and learning is wildly important to me. And then being able to take whatever I learn and collect and bring it to the world in a meaningful way is really what drives me.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. You had an amazing journey. I mean, you do sports to empower people. Can you tell us a little about, how this journey started? How you actually got into jiu-jitsu, and what actions you actually making to people, because people don't know, and you're really doing a lot of positive impact.
Thank you. Yeah, I jujitsu is a fun story for me. I got involved in jujitsu about 4 years ago. My
Right.
best friend is Brazilian, and she said, "You just have to come and try this." I had been running half marathons and just wasn't seeing, I didn't love running and so she just said, "Come and try this. There's no way that I'm going to like this, but fine, I will come." And I did one session with my professor, and I loved it so much. I signed up that day. I bought a couple of gis, and it has made a huge change in my life and in the way I think about strategy in general. And just when you're on the bottom, how do you use everything that you have to get back on the top again? And one of my favorite things about jujitsu is our team and the way that losing is seen.
Right.
Losing is just a step in your learning journey. It's not a forever place, it's not a destination, and neither is winning. They're just steps to where you're going. And I find that so empowering and beautiful, and it's so fun. Next month I'll be at World Masters in Las Vegas, competing there, and it's become part of my journey and part of my soul and who I am. It's just something that I love.
So, what was more exciting when you actually started jiu-jitsu for you? I mean, tell us how was like your first day, coming into the dojo. Have you seen it before, or even in videos, or you just was really first time when you started?
I had seen a little bit of UFC. Um, I I have a my co-founder is a black belt in Taekwondo, so I sort
Right.
of thought it was something like that. And
Hmm.
it's not. It's actually part of the reason I think jujitsu is so interesting for me is because I'm little. I'm 5'1" and 110 pounds, so I'm small. And if I'm technical enough and smart enough, it doesn't matter how small I am. In fact, I can
Yeah.
use it. I can use that to my advantage. Uh, and I love that. And there's also something really, really sort of innate about wrestling with someone and
Yeah.
the survival instincts that kick in, and the way it brings you closer to the people that you roll with every day. It sort of, I mean, it sounds funny to say, but it sort of changes who you are as a person when you connect with yourself and others physically in that
Right.
way. It makes you see life differently, and I walk
Yeah.
with a lot more confidence now than I did 4 years ago. It's been a tremendous gift that's been given to me. I love jujitsu.
For real, for real. I think everyone should try it. It definitely will give you
Yeah.
more confidence, because it's really a martial art that really anyone can do. It's not
Mhm.
something like very, too highly qualified or anything like. I mean, really anyone can do, and it's really encouraging the way your mind and body, evolves, according the time as you train and you learn more, learn the techniques,
Yeah.
and of course that creates a lot of confidence, and how does that help in real life in everything? Because if you feel confident doing that, you will be always confident doing whatever you're doing. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
you already have an advantage when you are really confident doing any task, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will walk differently and feel a little bit differently if I'm able to tap a, 6'5", 270 pound man in class that morning. I feel a little more confident for the rest of the day. I'm like, I do know what I'm doing, and also a huge amount of respect um for other people who are in that situation. It just teaches you to spot other people's strengths,
Right.
and to be excited for those, watchful when necessary, right? If you're But also to see people as rolling partners, people that you're engaged in a sport with, people that you're working with in hopefully a way that betters both of you, is
Yeah.
such an empowering way to see the world, instead of that we're actively competing against each other. We're all competing with each other to get better. um it's a not just fun, it's a way to look at the world that helps everything not feel so heavy all of the
Yeah.
time.
Definitely. And I guess that's how you felt the transformation when you started jiu-jitsu, right? You were doing daily basis, and then suddenly your life completely starting a big transformation, where
Mhm.
you had a different eyesight to the light, right? As we usually were doing everyday basis, right?
Absolutely. It changed everything. I mean, if you think about the difference between jujitsu and running, running is really a solo sport. If you're
Yeah,
really lucky, you find someone you can run with and that will pace with you.
yeah,
And those are great things, but you're still very much competing against everyone that you're running against. It's always, how can I make my PR a little faster? How can I train a little better? And there's an element of that that is important for everyday life. We should always be striving to get better. We should be strategizing about the next step. But jujitsu is very much a team sport, and it lights you on fire and it pushes you. I mean, the other thing about it
yeah,
is that adrenaline rush when you think you're empty and you have to keep going for 3 more minutes. You find a way to do it. And that's such a skill for everyday life too, to think, okay, my tank is on empty. What am I going to do here for the next 3 minutes? How am I going to succeed in this situation? um, it's such a powerful gift. I love that you're a fighter, and that fighters and grapplers.
yeah,
I love this community. Just absolutely incredible.
yeah. It does give you a different. I used to say a parallel world from what we see in society in general, and makes you more encouraging of living that moment. While you are doing this journey, amazing. I really congratulate you for that because that's something I really recommend for everyone to do. During this stage, you started Vision. So tell us a bit about how Vision started and what actually you guys doing and how you're helping other people and companies.
I would love to. Yeah, Vision started about 8 years ago. And at that time, I had been a stay-at-home mom. I have 4 kids. 2 of them have special needs. I'd been
Right.
doing that for about 13 years, just at home. And my sister-in-law and I were at the zoo, of all places, and we saw this tiny little boy. He could not have been more than 5 years old, trying to translate the signage and what the zookeeper was saying for his parents, because everything was in English. And this poor little boy was so stressed and trying to make the situation good for everyone. And my sister in law and I are both mothers, and we thought, surely there is a better way for the zoo to be providing an experience for people who speak different languages. And we kind of briefly looked into it and realized there was not. Um, so we uh, were really blessed to find just the right dev firm and to build a platform where we could automatically sense the home language of someone's phone and deliver information in the home language of the user's phone. But very quickly, we realized that just language translation isn't enough. And at this point, I'm glad we realized that, because any AI can give you a language translation.
Right.
The problem with language translation that many people don't think about is the cultural relevancy of what you are saying and doing. One word to one word language translation isn't workable. It doesn't make sense. And furthermore, what you're delivering may not be helpful anyway. One of my favorite examples to give is, if I'm in the UAE, if I'm in Dubai, and I work with a shoe designer who's in Italy, the images that he uses in Italy are not appropriate for the UAE. And
Right.
the way that he speaks about his product is not appropriate for the UAE. It's the same thing as when I travel to Japan and I have a digital business card. The way I speak about myself in Japan is different. Not because I'm a different person, but because I want to reverence their customs. I want to reverence who they are and show understanding. So
Right.
it will shift just slightly the way that I speak about different things. And that is what our platform does, is we're really about globalization on a local level that allows for people to have an experience that is meaningful to them in a language they're comfortable with, and in a way that you would want to speak about yourself or your location or your product. We know that the world is becoming more global. We know we need to
Yeah.
speak to people differently, but we don't always know how. I'm shocked at the number of people who want to do things the right way. We were just in Japan, and we were lucky enough to be able to visit one of the shrines. And there is a very specific way you are supposed to approach that. But as a tourist, I don't know how to do that. And I want so badly to be culturally reverent for what they have, but without the appropriate information, I can't make the best choices for myself.
Right.
And
Right.
what it really ends up then coming down to is the kinds of information that we are distributing. So much information on the planet today is owned by just a few corporations. And when you give ownership of information back to the people it belongs to, something amazing happens. Truth starts appearing, transparency starts happening, and real communication becomes a part of everyday interaction. And that's something we are all so hungry for.
Right.
Um, and I just think that's the most meaningful thing we can do right now, is be truthful in our interactions and give the best information that we can
Yeah.
in ways that people can understand it.
Yeah, we can see it over and over again. Like the usual big social media platforms, they take all your data. People just don't think because you're connect, you're busy. But if you give you a really big thought, all your data is on social media. You know, most of it might be in private way for you, but they have it. I mean, not everyone have it, but the platform has it. So
They do.
that's
And
a
it
significant change from mindset you actually achieve. So it's really something amazing.
Thank you. We're proud of it. And it's not just that they have your data, it's that they now own anything you've put on the platform. So as soon as you put videos up, as soon as you put any information, it's actually owned by Instagram or X or whomever you're working with. They own that
Right.
information now, and they can resell it and distribute it how they please. A lot of people don't recognize that it's not just about tracking who you are, it's that they own what you've put on the platform.
So
Which,
we have a comment from Rajesh. He's connected on LinkedIn saying this is from India. No.
hello.
So the technology is actually from US, right?
It is. The technology is from the US. We are in multiple countries now. We have bases. We're just starting to work in Asia. We've worked in Italy. We've worked in Canada. We've been in Portugal, actually, which is one of my favorites in Lisboa. This year, we've been in Brazil, Argentina, Chile. Um, a few years ago, we started up in Paris and the Netherlands. So we're available just about anywhere you can be. And we actually are partnered with Microsoft, so we can transact through the Microsoft marketplace. So if
Right.
it's something you're interested in, we're not hard to find. But we are based in the United States, in Boise, Idaho, where we both grew up. So
Wonderful, wonderful. So I guess that answers Rajesh. Thank you for your comment. So, I mean, your insight and your vision to make all this happen and make it reality, changing the viewing of general applications that we see online. It's really outstanding. How you got to the point of making all reality? I mean, that transformation is quite huge. You like to tell us a bit about that?
absolutely. So we decided early on we didn't want to accept VC funds because we wanted to keep ownership in the appropriate place. So we bootstrapped our business in the beginning. My husband and I were heavy investors. My sister-in-law
Right,
invested a huge amount as well. And then along the way, we've collected about 80 private investors
right,
who are small investors who believe in our vision. We're getting ready in the next several months to open crowdfunding for our Series A investment because we believe
sure,
people should own information. And so we will not be accepting VC funds ever. That's what we believe in.
right,
Um, and something that we're incredibly excited about. It has not been an easy road. Like I said, it took us 8 years to get here. It took us about 18 months to even have a viable product that we could start showing people. But it's something that has been amazing. As soon as you put the product in someone's hands and they see the difference that it can make in the way that we communicate, it changes people. It's an
right,
exciting thing, and it's what's my favorite is watching it work across borders and across institutions. I mean, we've had recently we worked with a zoo who 70% of their animals are animals that are being bred so that they can be released back into the wild because they're a conservation heavy zoo. They were able to prove using our platform a 30% change in the way that people interact with their environment. So whether they stopped using plastic grocery sacks or they started recycling or they rode their bikes more often, 30% of people reported a change because of the information that they received on our platform. It
right.
created empathy between them and wildlife, and it changed the way that they live their life.
Amazing, amazing story. So, I mean, for the ones who are gonna hear this or are actually watching, it's really outstanding story at how you had the vision of, doing something different and then putting it on reality. Now, during these steps, of course, there's a lot of things that most people maybe haven't thought about, which is perseverance. You had it. That's why you are where you are today. But if you could, tell us a bit, how was your perseverance during all these stages to never give up and be always certain about what you have and knew that what you have is really good to the whole world actually to watch and to use.
I would love to talk about that. It has not been easy. As I said, I have four children. Two of them
Right,
have special needs, and they also have rare genetic disorders. There have been days and stretches of weeks, even where I wondered if what I was doing was really what I should be doing. And we've had people who have tried to take away what we have, who have
yeah,
tried to take it for themselves. That's part of a success story. If you have something that's really good, other people are going to want it. So I'm learning to not be offended when someone wants what I have. I'm learning to try and take it as a compliment because I do have something that's really amazing. I do have something that can change humanity and it
right,
is valuable. And when other people see the value in it, I can't be offended by that. I can protect it and I will protect it because like how we don't take venture capital funds or how we're very careful who we bring on as partners. All of that is part of us protecting what we're doing because we believe that innovation belongs to the whole world. Everyone should have access to the kind of technology that changes the way
yeah,
that we speak to each other, that changes how information is disseminated. Um, it's not easy. And I think that's something that anybody who's been in a leadership role, and Julio, I know you have seen this, it's not easy to keep going. When it gets really, really hard, um, I've learned to take a moment and let and acknowledge those feelings.
yeah,
This is really hard. I never thought I would be doing this. I never thought my life would be this difficult. And then
yeah,
you just keep going. And you'll shock yourself every day with just how much you can do. And when you
yeah,
find your people, and we talked about this a little earlier, finding your people,
yeah,
um, that's not easy either. But when you come across someone in your life who is real with you, who you can trust, hold
yeah,
tight to those people, because in the moments that you lose faith in yourself or that you struggle and you think, is this worth it? Those are the people who will tell you to keep going. Those are
yeah,
the people who will say, I want you to get to the finish line. So when you find those people, make sure you nurture those relationships,
yeah,
because real love, real care
yeah.
can be hard to find in this world. So hold tight to it when you find it and actively look for those people because they're out there. Um, in fact, I was so excited to meet you, Julio, because and learn about what you're doing, because it brings so much light into my life to see
Thank
other
you.
people who want to spread good in the world. And you are doing an amazing thing with this podcast. Thank you for what you're doing.
I really appreciate it. What I mean, remarkable words. I'm truly appreciated for that, Brittany. I would say likewise. And yes, for the people who haven't go through it, it's not a paradise, right? You always find people who take advantage of you, want what you have. They want to know what you know for them to take themselves from your idea. So this is what you're going to encounter. But in the end, that's life. What I usually say to these kind of people is like, when you have nothing better to do, go find the idea yourself.
Right.
Do something good with your life. Do something proficient, something that is positive. Do something that will help other people, and people will look up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting the finger or trying to get advantage of someone's work. This
Right.
happens. I mean, you just said it yourself, and this is the true reality when there's something with vision and something that is really useful. People want it because they don't know how to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the sad reality of our society. The creative people are always the ones kind of in damage this way if they don't know how to protect well themselves, um, because there's a huge amount of percentage of people on the market just looking up to see how can they take advantage of something for themselves, and this is
Yeah.
really bad. But it is the true reality, and for good entrepreneurs out there, you have to be ready for this type of situation because this will happen. It's not something that, it might, no, no, it will
It
happen
will.
in
If
some
it's a
point.
good idea, somebody else is going to want it too. And there's always someone looking for a shortcut. Anybody
Yeah,
who's done it knows there's no shortcuts. Like you're going to get into it what you or you're going to get out of it what you've put into it. So
yeah,
there's no shortcuts, but there will always be someone looking for the shortest way, the easiest way to success. And it will happen. Try and take it as a compliment and move on, but it will, like you said, it will happen.
yeah, yeah. Um, so a remark for people that are watching, at least to make sure that they at least change a bit their thoughts or trying to be creative themselves, instead of doing what they're doing. So, with all this, what other, I mean, you must have had a lot of success stories for people that reach you, from the ones that work with you. Tell us a bit about those insights. I'm pretty sure people will be wanting to know about that.
You know, the one of my favorite parts about all of this has been the opportunity to grow as a leader. Um, I manage creatives in our business right now. It's my favorite thing ever to manage creatives. And it's funny because a lot of people in leadership will tell you it's very difficult to manage a creative team because these are the people who have the big ideas and they're all over the place and it's like herding cats. I have not found that to be true. I found that creatives are the people who are inspired by what they're doing, who love what they're doing.
Yeah.
And typically, what creatives need is the license to explore and do what they need to do, and then just a timeline. The My favorite person, well, I always say that I have a lot of favorite people that I work with, but my creative director right now is absolutely a phenomenal woman. And she came in a little unsure of her talents, which, if you ever had met her, would be unbelievable. She's an incredible videographer, she's an amazing designer, and she has a
Right.
lot of vision. But she came from a place where she was told that she was too much and that she needed to get in line, that she was too loud. And as we brought her into our company, everybody just surrounded her with love, and the talent that has emerged and the surety that has emerged has been
Yeah.
unreal. And now she is a voice for our brand like I would never have seen before. She believes in our company in a way I kind of thought only the founders would ever believe in it, but she's thrown her whole heart and soul behind it. And we found that with our teams again and again. When you bring in the right people, they fall into place, they click into place. And when you make them feel safe,
Yeah.
heard, and understood,
Yeah.
they become part of your team. They're not just putting in like 9 to 5, they just coming
Yeah.
in and doing their job. They really throw in behind your cause. That is unique. We should be
Yeah.
feeding that as leaders. Um, Please be, we call it entrepreneurial, right? Like, you're
Yeah.
part of this company. Please take it and own it and treat it as your own child,
Yeah.
because this business isn't just mine. If I really believe, and I do, that this kind of insight and technology will change the world, then that means it belongs to everyone who wants to be a part of it. When I have enough of a mindset that says there's enough here for everyone, I want to invite as many people as I can into it and say, come and own a piece of this and take it and share it with the world.
Right.
That's my favorite piece of all of this, is
Right.
the opportunity to share.
You mentioned a very important thing that maybe most people don't understand, which is when you bring someone in, if this person feels compenetrated, protected, then good, and the person will do anything, because it's not easy to find a correct team that you feel compenetrated. So when you work as a family, everything changes,
But you have
because
to actually mean it.
yeah, yeah, you talk about everything. You feel, the openness of talking about any subject, any way, any structure. So many things can happen. Even brainstorming can take you to a whole new level, because when you think, when you are relaxed, not having a step back, your mind changes. It becomes much more creative, and much more, with much more intuition, which was, especially on the right track and milestone to move forward with some idea. If
Absolutely.
you have a step back, where you feel, some kind of scare, your brain does not work the same way. People need to really understand that, and this is really important. One thing is go to the office, being 9 to 5. You hardly talk with anyone, just do your work and go home. Is that really the life people want? I
Right.
wouldn't think there is, and that can change. You can only change if you search for it.
Absolutely.
Like, you need to find, the people with the right mindset. And when you
Absolutely.
find the people with the right mindset, you find the team and you find the people.
Mhm. And then you protect those people.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of people out there. It's, on LinkedIn so much right now. People joke, they're like, "Don't talk about work as a family. It's not a family." It is if you have the right leader. If you're the kind of leader though who wants that following, who
yeah,
people who feel like this is a family, you have to treat them that way. Which means that if times are hard, I go without a paycheck. I make sure that my people get paid first and foremost. It means that I protect them and that I throw open the door. And when they have feedback to give me, I'm not only open for the positive stuff, the places where they say, oh, you're doing such a good job and I love it, but where they say, now that I've really seen the inside of this, are there ways we can improve it and change it? I don't think this is the best way. I have to be open to that too.
Yeah,
And that's hard as a leader to say, yeah, give me all of your feedback, tell me the things I'm doing wrong. But when you do it, magical things happen, and your team really does become like family.
it does. It does. Not only that, they will give you constructive comments that you will not get in any other situation. And that is really reconstructive because you will improve daily basis, even your character, the way of work, your mindset, it changes everything, absolutely everything. Even in general conversation, you might have think about a way of getting to a place or a vision or a milestone, and then suddenly a new idea comes up, and you see that idea is really bright to go up with what you had in mind. It just like change the paradigm where you want to go. I mean, if it wasn't that situation, you would not have that insight. So this is how dramatically it's important to have the right people working with you. And when you, like I said, and you just said, when you work as a family, everything changes. You know, you don't think about the competitors. You don't think about so many things that you would have think if you don't have the right team. So it's really important for the good people to be well treated and to be part of. I'm not saying in a bad way, but be part of the furniture, but not in the bad way. Like part of the whole cooperation.
Yeah.
Like part of the structure.
Hmm.
And this is important because when they feel they're really a part of it, everything changes. And you have the really proof of that. I'm pretty sure you really have a lot of brainstorming every day, new ideas, and that happens when you have, the right group, right?
We do. Yeah, we have even our customer service representative. She's incredible, and she's really taken that and turned it into her own process. And the insights she's able to give us, we wouldn't have if we ran the company any other way, but also if we had any other person there. We have to encourage the right people to come in and stay and be part of our business. And I am forever grateful for our team. We would not be where we are without our team.
So, Amy, Baldock, fascinating and enlightening conversation. Thank you both. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching, Amy, wherever you are. I appreciate it for your comment.
Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for tuning in.
So, moving on, how you see yourself and vision within the next 5 to 10 years? I mean, how are you going to see the journey? Are you going to do anything different significantly? You're going to, go up with a lot of other extra services on it. What is your general
Mhm.
vision? Tell us a bit about that.
We will have extra services. We are working actually every week, we release a new service. Right now, we're available in
Okay.
21 languages. We will
Okay.
continue to add languages every opportunity that we can. Something else that we're working on is a way for people to give feedback on the platform. But we have to be careful about that because we don't want to be the people who are harvesting data. We are fully GDPR compliant. So the way that we are thoughtfully designing what we do will keep us from taking data and using it in sort of that oil kind of way where we're selling your data. We will never ever do that. You own
Right.
your data, you own your information. We can use data for tracking how successful things are, but we'll never ever be the company that sells it. And that's something we will be holding to within as we move on because that's who we are. We will be working on getting into even more countries. We've been very lucky to work with the United States um, commerce department, and that has been life changing for us. It's brought us to lots of new countries we never thought would be there before. We
Right.
will always be a voice for globalization and for technology to better humanity everywhere. So you'll start to see us in lots more countries. We're currently working with several others that can't talk about just yet, but please stay tuned.
Yeah.
um, and we will continue to build out technology in meaningful ways. But most importantly, what you'll always see from us is encouraging that companies share as much information as possible and be as transparent as possible, and that they own their own information. Truth and transparency changes everything. There will always be a call for that from us. And if a company isn't doing what they should be doing yet, that doesn't mean they won't or they can't. But we don't know enough as people to call for that transparency until we can see clearly where things are today. So that's what you will see is the continuous illumination moving forward to say, how do we improve? How do we get better?
Yeah.
How is the information as clear and accurate as possible?
The way your structure is today, what do you could say that would make a deployment faster in many other countries, if there is any change that could be done?
So we actually have been, our structure is quite good right now, even with the tariff situations and the things that are happening, because we are software as a service. We're
Right.
not a physical good. We can work with you inside your country probably right now for most countries, especially because we are partnered with Microsoft.
Right.
That said, we want to make true impacts in the countries we move into. We don't want to just be there to make money. So we are looking strategically for partners within those countries that can help us to have a base in those countries, have feet on the ground, and be developing something meaningful inside those countries. So if that's something you're looking for, please contact us because we're interested in building out um, in a way that helps to build the countries that we're in. This shouldn't just be and has never just been about lining our pockets. This is about calling for change worldwide.
Absolutely. We have a new comment from Clara Schroeder. Love the global multinational and inclusive lens of your work and mindset, Brittany.
I'm so sorry. The computer cut out. What was that question?
Oh, okay. So, no, it's a comment from
Okay.
Clara Schroeder. She's saying, love the global multinational and inclusive lens of your work and your mindset, Brittany.
Oh, thank you so much, Clara. I know Clara. Clara is an ecotherapist who's just launched her first book and is getting ready to go to print on
Awesome.
how nature impacts our mental health and how we can heal the planet and ourselves at the same time. She's just one of the examples of the amazing people I have met on this road. And
Right.
and so are you now, Julio. Like you are part of my story now too. It's
Thank
amazing the
you.
kinds
You,
of
you
people.
are too, to me, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing the kinds of people we meet as we think, how do
It
we make
is.
the world a better place?
It is, and especially when you least expect it. I mean, that's the most awesome thing that can happen. You know, when you less expect it, you actually meet the right people and good people in your journey. You know, it's really amazing. And most of the times, when you actually look for it, they'll never show up. You know, so
Right.
I guess that's life story, right?
It's true, but there are good people out there.
Yes.
Life will guide you to the people that you need in the moments that you need them. And I was so touched when I met you the other day for the first time and I spoke about what we're trying to do right now with anti
Yeah.
human trafficking. So, we're working with a company to educate healthcare workers on what human trafficking looks like, how to spot it, and how to help potential survivors.
Yeah.
And I choked up on our call because you told me that you are already working in that area and about the
Yeah.
work that you have done. Um, the universe, God, however you want to talk about it, has a way of guiding us to the people that will help us make the change and help align us in beautiful ways. It's just absolutely incredible. The work that you're doing is amazing.
Thank you so much. I like to think, I mean, I'm not really certain if he's like that, but I like to think that when you do good things, in some point you meet good people and have good results. I mean, that's the way it's been happening, at least in my life. And I will always continue to do what I'm doing. That's for sure. No one will stop me from empowering people, helping people in disadvantage, or when they have struggle because there's too much empowerment from government itself. So everyone has a voice, and those voices should always be heard because everyone and every human being should have always the same rights. And I always fight for that. That's for sure.
I am just blown away by the amount of good people and good vibes from this show today. What an amazing opportunity.
So, Clara, a message to Clara. I think she should be in the episode
Absolutely
pretty
should.
much soon. So if you hear us, just catch up and we have a chat. So Amy said, "Me too." Amy Bolduc said,
Amy
"Me too."
Bolduc, I know her as well. She she creates this podcast called Grounded in Maine, where she talks about the different people who are working for sustainability and ecologically minded people right now.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking like the amazing people that you meet along your way. These are all people I've met along the path. They're
Yeah, Amy, for sure, we can have a conversation. That's for sure. I'm always open. I'm like I said, I'm a sustainable person myself, and everyone that has that same mindset should always be heard in a way to, at least to educate people how you can do things. I've had people on this podcast talking from fashion to many other factors. How is that possible to do? Doesn't matter what you do, but it is possible. It's just a matter that if you have the will, you have the way, right? So in the end, it's like what you do in all your life, Brittany. You had the will, you wanted to get what you got today, and you got it. I mean, in the end, it's that perseverance, right?
we're still going. There's still lots of work to do. But yes, perseverance will get you a lot of the way. Perseverance, the right people, and positivity.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How would you say where you are today? Are you halfway, one third of the way, 80%? I mean, what is your actual vision in all this?
So that's a really difficult question to answer because success is actually not a destination. Um, as far as what I originally, both me and our co-founder originally thought of for
Yeah,
vision, we're
yeah,
actually on a different road than we thought we would be on. We thought it would be doing something entirely different than what it's doing.
right.
Um, so I feel so much like I'm just always at the start line for the next thing. But um, if you think about things in 10-year stretches, which is sometimes a really great way to think about it, I guess we're about 70% of
Okay.
the way there, with still 1,000 miles to go and miles to go before I sleep, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's the best way I can think about it. Because if I think of it as a destination, I won't be pushing beyond where I thought I could go. So,
It's like when you start something and you never really think how it can end. I mean, you expect, but for people who really, I always say, who really got wet in the rain with no umbrella. I did it a lot of times. You really need to experience that to know what is the reality to get where you want to get. How's that? Well, it has a lot of side points. You never know. You might be in, especially inside technology. Uh, you want something to do a specific thing. In the end, you manage to get it done. But then you find out that if you actually do a slight different, you actually implement several other services that you never thought you implemented. So
yeah.
in the end, that's how it comes. How you got to that, you have experience. had the experience and saw, the whole road and the whole potential of what you had in mind and how we swapped and changed dramatically, also in the positive way that was not think from the beginning. And this happens. And this happens for people that are watching, and this will always happen, not just first time or second, always will happen. It's like a mathematical equation. You can put the equation, but then you can find the actual sum of the result in maybe two or three different, sums. So technology and life exactly the same way. It's like a charter, charter flow. You're yes, no. But then in the end, it's not really complete because it's unknown. You don't know the future. And this is what people miss out. You might have the milestone, but you need to be prepared to improvise and overcome all the time and every single day that you woke up and get to work and start working because you never know the future. You don't know what's going to happen. I tell you one experience I had. We were developing something really new in cybersecurity, and there was no errors. We tested it. It's on record. We tested it 988 times, and it gave an error when it reached 1,000. We actually thought that after 900, 88 sometimes, no errors, no bugs, nothing. We actually, when it reached the 1,000 testing, it actually gave a bug. So that's life. It's the same. I mean, you don't know if you're gonna get a flu in 1 week or 1 month, but you overcome it. In the end, it's the reaction. You have to always be prepared for reaction, improvise, and overcome. And align that with your experience and knowing in the past what didn't work, that will mark you through to anywhere and do whatever you want to achieve in any point in any part of the world in life. That's for sure.
Inspiring words. So you're absolutely right. You keep going, and great ideas expand. That's the nature of them. They'll always be bigger than you are.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's been amazing. We've been talking already 50 minutes. Amazing conversation, Brittany. It's also I like to say a few words to you specifically. I do admire you. I mean, we just recently met, but I tremendously admire you for your perseverance, your open mindset, and your understanding of understanding people.
Thank you.
For people who actually don't know you that well, you are a really open person. You really know how to engage and how to understand people, how to absorb bright ideas from something that was not think of, and always in an encouraging way to get you to the next step where you want to reach your goal. You are a goal thinking person. You always want to achieve the next step, and you have a huge amount of perseverance to achieve it. So I congratulate you for that. I wish that there were a lot more people out there like you. I'm sure there are. I just don't know them. In the end, that's what it is. But I truly admire what you do. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep inspiring people, and congratulations for the huge amount of work that you've done. And I know, I can guess, part of the journey how struggling it was, but it was worth it, right?
It was absolutely worth it. And thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So before we leave and say goodbye, I always ask my guests to say a power message. What will be your power message today, as in for people who are starting entrepreneurship, they're going to get into a business? What will be your power message today and your advice?
Come prepared to fight. Most of us know that. Come prepared to fight, but be surprised every day by the love that you find along the way. Leave your heart open. It's hard. It hurts. People will definitely try to take advantage of you. But the people that you'll meet along the way and the love that you'll find along the way is what's going to change your life. So be prepared for that.
Absolutely. Remarkable words. And those are like a resume of a true life story. In the end, you resume a life story journey in just one paragraph. Amazing. Brittany, thank you so much for this insightful conversation. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will enjoy this and to know all the amazing work you're doing in your team. Congratulations to you and your team. You can I say hello from myself to your team. I don't know them, but I congratulate them also. Keep on doing what you guys doing, and congratulations on all you achieved. Thank you so much for today, and thank you for taking the time of having this episode with me today.
Thank you for having me. It's been a gift.
Thank you all for watching. Catch you on the next episode. Looking forward to it. Thank you. Bye bye for now.